Welcome to another Cinema 4D tutorial. In this one, we're going to be playing around with hair a little bit more, and we're just going to kind of try to create just kind of a fun purple blob, or maybe we go with green or blue blob, kind of hairy looking kind of creature. So that's all I got for you as far as explanation, but let's try to have a little bit of fun here and use a couple different things inside of Cinema 4D to keep us well practiced. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start building my character just using a couple of spheres here. So I'll use just a head. I'm not going to worry too much about a neck. I'm just going to make him kind of a blob of a character. Basically have a snowman right now, and we could even do that. But and then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some cylinders for arms. So let me rotate this 90 and throw these inside of a symmetry. And that way I can just drag these out. Just kind of make them something like that. Let's grab another cylinder for the legs here. And let's do another symmetry for this cylinder. And I'll drag it into place. And I'll make his legs really kind of just a couple more spheres for the feet, just to make these feet kind of these little soccer ball blob feet, you know, not going for anything too crazy, nothing too impressive about this, but just, I don't know, something like that. And we'll probably have to do the same for the hand here. And throw that in there. Cool. Alright. So, that's my character's basic body. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all this and make this stuff all editable and just select everything, and I'm just going to go ahead and yeah, for this sake, I'm just going to select children and connect objects and delete. I'm just going to say this is my blob character. Cool. All right, first things first, we're going to rig this guy real quick. Just using, not motion. Simple character rigger here. We're going to do a biped. So let's start off using our root here, which is just kind of what they show you. It's like a picture of the pelvis. We're just going to drag that up somewhere right there, bigger, so it kind of hits the floor. I don't know. All right, back to the root, build spine. And let's go arm and arm. Arm and arm. And then let's go ahead and grab all these and adjust these. And I'm going to just drag this up and scale this up. So we've got something like that. Then we can kind of come in here and take individual points. Let's say our left arm. Let's go our arms here. These guys will move out. There we go. All right, that's good enough. I'm not going to worry too much about the fingers or anything like that. Let's go back to our spine and let's add a leg and a leg. We gotta do the same kind of adjusting here. I probably did this wrong by not adjusting this earlier on in the tutorial and waiting until I've created them. But this appears to be, I don't know, quick enough, I guess, to get things into place. All right, there's legs, and then I think we just need to add the head and adjust that. I'm not going to worry about the jaw. I think the head's just got to go, somewhere up there. Alright, that's our character. Binding. What are we going to bind? We're going to bind the blob character. And animate. Let's add a walk. And let's see what he does. Alright, he's very, very blobby, as you can imagine. There's not a lot of, you know, there's not a lot going on here. But now what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to go into this thing up here that was just created after binding called C motion. And this is where you can affect all the movement of your character. So I already kind of messed a little bit with my stride. I can mess with that and bring the stride down a little bit. It affects the area around the hips as well, so I probably would want to bring these down even further inside of my character, but I don't mind it, you know, it's my blob character. We can go then into things like our left arm, and you could use something called steps. Now we'd have to get this thing back into position, but basically what this would do is this is how you're going to add your arm movement, because otherwise there's not a lot of movement going on. But I kind of screwed up my arms. My shoulders are way too close to my character. And in the case of this blob, I don't really want to do anything regarding arm movement, but I am going to want to just come in here and like have my arms just kind of sagging down a little bit. So I'm going to grab this bad boy and this bad boy here. Just kind of something like that. Ooh, my weights are a little weird, but that's okay. Alright, so that's where I'm pretty much going to leave it. I could adjust the root of it if I wanted to, like if we wanted to like make him be up on his tippy toes, or like if you had more polygons you could make him just basically scooting along the ground. We're not going to mess with that. You could also, you know, start to animate kind of like different types of creatures and insects having hind legs. We could keyframe this and make it seem like this guy's super drunk. So anyway, I've got this walking blob. Let's just leave it there. I'm trying to overdo it. So what I'm going to do is on my blob character, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to simulate hair objects, add hair. Here we go. And let's start off just giving this, let's go purple. I'm feeling purple right now. Dark purple, lighter purple, specular purple, and let's toss it on the hair. Let's have a look, and let's animate. Let's give it that gravity. Okay, kind of an interesting looking purple orangutan looking thing here, and walking along. You'll notice, let's add a light to it as well. Light always seems to make it look much more realistic. Well, it does. But, alright, so we kind of have the outline of this purple blob. First things first, let's just add 25,000 hairs. And now we're looking a lot better. The thickness, I'm going to vary this a little bit, increase my root and my tip. I'm going to frizz it. Kink makes it a little too fake looking. Let's frizz it. Let's see what we got. There we go. Now we're looking a lot more like a character. I'm going to create the character I had in my mind. I'm going to create one more material here. We're just going to use like kind of a noise of dark and lighter purples, and turn the scale way down on this. Turn the reflectance off. Let's add this to the blob character. Alright. Okay, so now I'm going to make this character do is I'm going to replace this floor now with a plane. And just kind of make a nice size plane. And I'm going to add basically just kind of some blowing objects on the plane. So I'm going to do the same thing and simulate hair objects, add hair, and then let's make the guides quite a bit longer. And inside this we'll make thickness something like that. And then we need to make sure this hair definitely doesn't have any gravity. And I could obviously add instances of, like, if I want like kind of like a wheatgrass is what I'm thinking in my head. But let's just use the hair itself. Just kind of see if we can get something kind of realistic, but it's not going to look great. Let's see if we can get some kind of look achieved here. Still need to make sure I guess my tips are too thick. All right, it's something we can work with. Let's create another material from the purple, and this one's gonna be like kind of our dirt. Now let's throw that on the ground. Have a look. Okay. I'm gonna mess with this hair just a little bit more and kind of like, I'm only gonna go with 1,000. Spread it out a little bit more. And definitely need to frizz this to give it some natural, there we go. And under hair, let's actually go back up to 2,000. Sorry, just learning as we go here. Cool, and I could even make the ground, probably have like a touch of green in there, make it look a little more realistic. And then in my character, under C motion, I'm just gonna have him walk a line. Okay, so if I start this, the character is walking a line, and I want to give these hairs have the what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a force by simulating wind. And I'm going to put this over there. And I'm going to give it some pretty good strength. Kind of like something like that. Let's see what happens now. We can see my grass is blowing back and the hair on my character. So it kind of looks as if my character is walking through this windy field here. All right. So that's going to be my animation. Blobby character walking around. Showed you how to use the hair, character, rigger, and just to use some forces inside of this Cinema 4D tutorial. So I will render this out and show you what my terrible movie purple blob scene looks like, and feel free to critique the hell out of it. Anyway, thanks for watching this Cinema 4D tutorial. Please stay tuned and subscribe for more.